Fall is here, and we all know how the...
We are a little close.
We are.
I know. Jeez.
You don't like being close
Well,
to
we're
me?
just so close.
It's a little.
It's a lot.
Fall is
your
here,
shadow is like
and we're all
on me.
cozy, and we all know how the change in seasons can impact our sleep. So we're going to share some ways to get a better night's rest. And to do that, we called in the expert, clinical psychologist, Dr. Michael Breus, a.k.a. the sleep doctor himself.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Join our
Morning.
sleeping bag over here.
I know you guys are crunched right in
We
there.
are a little close. It's for your light. Anyway, Dr. Breus, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So, autumn means we're going to start seeing less and less daylight.
Right.
What could that potentially mean for our sleep?
So it's interesting. During the winter months, there's a couple of things that can happen specifically to sleep. One thing we know of is something called seasonal affective disorder, where people, because there's not as much light, they're not feeling as well, kind of the winter blues. But from a sleeping perspective, here's what we know is because we don't have as much light, our circadian rhythms can be a bit off, and that can pose a problem. So people need to get sunlight in the morning time. Also, people don't know it, but vitamin D is a circadian pacemaker. So being outside in the sun, only need about 15 minutes, believe it or not. That actually helps with your sleep. I know it sounds strange doing something in the morning time.
That's
can be
great,
helpful
though.
for sleep, but trust me, if you start to prepare for sleep at the beginning of your day, you're going to have a great night.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that.
Since I have 3 young kids and sleep training and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I focus on every little thing you say. This is good for adults and for kids
Absolutely.
too? Okay.
And the thing I tell people is when you wake up in the mornings, I have a little bit of a routine. You can do this for kids. You can do this for adults. I call it the 3-15s. Okay. So what you do is 15 deep breaths.
I'm looking at this here.
Right. So that just helps kind of wake up your respiratory system, kind of get you there. 15 ounces of water, not caffeine. Okay. Because remember, sleep in and of itself is a dehydrative event. We don't want to caffeinate. We want to hydrate first. Right. And then the final thing is 15 minutes of sunshine. So what I have people do in the morning time is maybe go over to the window if it's a little too cold to be outside. But if you can be outside, that's going to be the best.
Okay.
I didn't know sleep was how much dehydration are we talking while we sleep?
So we lose almost a full liter of water from both the humidity in our breath and our sweat and oils that come through our skin. So people need to go to bed, fairly well hydrated, but don't drink a big glass of water before bed because then you're going to have to go to the bathroom
But
all
it's
night
true,
long.
because sometimes I wake up thirsty, and I'm like, it's because
That's
I'm
because you're
dehydrated.
definitely losing water during
That's
your
interesting.
sleep. Absolutely.
So before we know it, daylight savings time will be over.
Right here.
How can we prepare for that shift?
So here's the good news is we actually gain an hour.
That's
right.
Because we're falling back, which means we get an hour. So this is the positive one for everybody out there. So what I tell people all the time is you can actually help yourself because with the kids, they don't necessarily know the difference. So they may wake up at their old time where mom and dad may want to sleep in a little bit. So adjusting them a little bit each week, maybe 5 to 10 minutes each week as you're rolling up to it. It's in, I believe, in the beginning of November. So starting in October, having them get up a little bit differently can definitely be a big help.
What are some other healthy habits that we should remind folks?
So here's the big thing, right? When fall shows up, it's like pumpkin spice season everywhere, right?
You're right.
And that means lots of extra sugar that's been added to many of those drinks. I don't have anything against pumpkin spice. I actually kind of like it. But at the end of the day, the sugar can absolutely have an effect, specifically the processed sugar. So that's one of the things we want to try to avoid. Another big thing is when it gets colder, a lot of people don't want to get outside and exercise as much. Please, please, please make sure to join a gym or get involved. Movement actually helps with your sleep, and exercise is one of the best ways. People who are regular exercise are great.
You know what? We hear about it, and unfortunately, sometimes we wait until we have a health issue to realize all the things that you guys have been telling us for forever. I was just looking at really quickly, there's this new study that came out. This was in the Journal of Experimental Medicine about how not getting enough sleep can impact other areas of your health.
So that study was quite interesting, and it wasn't that they weren't getting enough sleep. It was how much time they spent in bed, believe it or not. So time in bed is different than time asleep.
So in what way?
So here's what happens is for some people, if they're in bed a short period of time, it appears to lead to potentially neurologic conditions, or too long a period of time, it could lead to neurologic conditions. What we think that means is that people, while they're in bed, are not getting good quality sleep. So they're either jumping out because, hey, I'm not going to get there, or, oh my gosh, I'm just going to wait and wait and wait and hope for the best.
Or their bed or pillows uncomfortable.
So that's a big one, too. I've been really telling people a lot. Like, one of the things I tell people all the time is think about maybe getting a new mattress or a new pillow if your sleep isn't so hot right now, because quite honestly, that's one of the easiest ways to help with your sleep. Over on my website, thesleepdoctor.com, we've actually got a mattress buying guide to give people some ideas as to what they can do, because let me tell you something, it's confusing everything out there.
Thank you,
You're
Doctor.
great, from water to mattresses.
I know. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's why they call him the sleep doctor.
Yeah,
that was it all.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.